Okay, so get this back here so you can see, from the breech face to where it needs to be is the same as from the end of your barrel hood to the reset. Okay, and that's how you need to determine. So you let's say you come up. Let me get a dial caliper and we'll look at this. Okay, so what we don't want to do is measure this. Okay, I mean, if you're just trying to get a barrel to go in there, that's fine. But if you're trying to do a match grade barrel fit, not going to work. But anyway, so let's say the hood length ends up being, this one is 1 inch 300 thousandths, which is usually what they're going to be in a range of 1 inch 300 and 1 inch 300 to 1 inch 320 or 30, I think is about the range that they go in. So once you get that and you follow, you'll take your measurement. All right, same thing as before. Don't just start blindly filing on this. Take your measurement. Okay, it started out at, let's say you needed to be 1 inch 300 thousandths. Your hood started out 1 inch 320 thousandths. Write that down. All right, put this thing in a vise, and I suggest that you put it in a vise square. All right, lay something across the top of it and then push it up till it's a few thousandths above flush. That way you can look across your vise and make sure you're filing it square. If you can step it up a little bit at a time, you can file down to your vise to keep everything square. But that's not really that important. You can straighten that out as long as you don't go too far once it's in there and you start working it to see where the rub marks are. So you're going to file this. All right, you started out at 320. You need to be 300. So you start filing it, you check it, you went to 310. Okay, you file it, you check it. Now you're at 305. Put it before you go all the way that distance, because you may be filing crooked one way or the other. All right, this way, or this way. So once you do that, put it back into the frame. All right, push the slide forward and let it go down in there. Actually, don't even put it in a frame. Put it in the receiver or in the slide right here, and push it back till it hits the breech face, and then see if you can push up on it. Put the bushing in if it's a bushing barrel. See if you can push up on it. If you can push up on it, then look at it through the light, like this right here, and see where you can see light at. If you see a whole bunch of light, then you know it'll still work, but it's not the greatest. Chances are, though, at 5 thousandths, it's not going to want to go up, or you're going to have to beat it up in there or whatever. So you pull it back out, you look at the rub marks. That'll tell you where you need to file to start keeping things square. And so you start filing that. You keep going till you get to where it fits the best. And when it fits good, it should be almost like a little slight snap into place. You don't want to have to beat it up in there with a hammer, because I'm not a big fan of, building a gun and the guy having to shoot 2,000 or 3,000 rounds through it to break it in. To me, that's not proper fit. I'm not gonna argue with any of them, pistol smith gurus who think it is. I think they're full of crap. But anyway, so that's fitting the hood. Once you get that all done and everything is fit to where the best you can or where you feel comfortable, the next thing that you want to do, let me put the bushing back on here. The very next step in this fitting process, all right, is going to be pushing it back, pushing it up. Not a lot of pressure, just kind of moderate pressure. Maybe even lock it into place is what I used to do. But push it up here, and you want to measure right here in the front. You want to measure the height difference with it out of engagement and slid forward just a little bit. Measure from here to the barrel, top dead center, of course. write that down, slide it in engagement, push it up, put moderate pressure on it like you think it would be locked up. Alright, do take the same measurement. That's going to be how much engagement you have. This is important because if you don't have enough engagement, you're going to prematurely wear the locking recesses, or the barrel's not going to last that long. If you have an overcharge, it could lock the gun up, because instead of unlocking, it could just shoot straight across the top of the barrel. Just cause you all kind of problems. But ideally, you want to be in the range of, in my opinion, 25 minimum, but up to about 35 to 40. I prefer around 35. That way you don't have a lot of movement when it's unlocking, so your lock time is not greatly increased and all that good stuff. So the gun, can, especially for IPSC guys, and they want their guns to run really, really fast because they shoot real fast. You don't want it to take twice the amount of time to pull the barrel down and unlock. So measure from here to the barrel when it unlocks, slid forward slightly. Then slide it back, push it up into engagement, take the same measurement. That's going to be your amount of lockup you have. Okay, that's very important. Alright, now that's, what is that? I think step 3 of fitting your barrel. Obviously the first step would be, getting it, the bushing fit, or if it's a bull barrel, getting it fit to your slide, because it's obviously got to go into the slide before you can fit the rest of the barrel. Alright, so once that's done, and again, let me say this before I just go on and y'all get lost, for the guys who don't know much about gun work or 1911s, where you're going to end up fitting at to get your lockup to move up or down, well, you don't want to move it down, but to move up is usually going to be right here in these recesses. Alright, you got a recess here, you got a recess here. It's going to be probably on the sides, probably mostly on the back, maybe even on the front, but on the sides, from my experience of all the guns I've built, it's going to be mostly there. Alright, and there's a special file you can use, or you can just use a little needle file. I would grind the sides off so you don't start sanding into the recess itself, the edges of the locking lugs. But just to start filing, put you some black Sharpie or some Dicom or something on there. Put it in the gun or in the slide. Smack the back of it with a rubber hammer or something. Just slightly tap on it. Pull it back out. See where it's hitting. Alright, do that some more. See where it's hitting. Do that some more till you get the amount of lockup you need. Alright, now let's say you tap it and it don't show a mark. That means it's too tight here. This is mostly from in my experience, I've seen it mostly with the bull barrel stuff, is it's binding up too much, which is going to be usually on the bottom or the top. Bottom towards the end of the barrel, or top about half inch back from the end of the barrel. So if you don't get any marks here, put your Dicom here, do the same thing, and wherever it's hitting hard, just don't file flats, but kind of go around the whole, the whole, at least half of the radius of the barrel, and keep going until, because this little bit here will make this go a long way, even more so than this when this is what's hitting. So that's the two areas you're going to be filing or fitting on in order to get the amount of lockup that you want.